Making money online is a multifaceted project, to put it lightly. You have to come up with something to sell, you have to build an audience so you have someone to sell it to, you need to figure out how to sell the thing and build systems to streamline the selling process. But your sales page is one of the key elements of this big project. It's perhaps kind of the fulcrum that the whole thing rests on. If your sales page converts at a good rate, then when you build your audience and you tell them about your product, then you can make a lot of sales. On the other hand, if your sales page isn't really up to par and the words on it don't resonate with your audience, they don't understand them, they aren't persuaded by them, then no matter how big your audience is, you might fail to make any sales at all. So in this video, I want to walk you through a 4-step process that you can use to write a crazy effective sales page that's going to be converting your leads into paying customers like nothing else. And maybe the best part is that this page is only going to take you a few hours to write, and then you can use it to generate sales for years. More than anything else, the thing that will make your sales page come together quickly is to do a pre-writing exercise. So before you open up a new page on your website, before you start designing, before you even start laying out the page or anything like that, you can write most of the words that will be on your sales page by simply answering some questions about the product that you're selling, about the offer, about who it's for, about the problems that that target customer is facing, about what they're looking for, about the result that your product will create for them. It is so much easier to write naturally and even persuasively if you are writing in response to something. So instead of opening up that new page on your website, staring at that blank screen, that blinking cursor, and wondering, what should my headline be? What should the bullet points be? What should I put here? What should I put there? Instead of worrying about any of that, just answer some simple questions about your offer. Write down the name of your product. Describe what it is. Write down who it's for and how it will help that person and why that person should buy it. Describe the big result that the product will help the customer get, as well as some of the benefits that they will experience in a really tangible way in their life once they get that result. Write down the problem that your product will help them solve and how that will help them. Also, describe the big challenge that they're facing and specific obstacles that are standing in their way. As you answer each of these questions, don't worry about writing the perfect words. Don't worry about being persuasive. Just write naturally, like someone asked you about this aspect of your product. Of course, you can refine as you go, but don't get caught up in trying to write the perfect sales copy because you're not writing your sales page yet. You are just brainstorming, you're just getting the ideas out onto the page so that you can refine them later. So there's absolutely no pressure to get this right, and that really is the magic of it. You can write so much great sales copy so quickly when that pressure is lifted off your shoulders. I put together a worksheet of all of these questions that you can download for free and use to pre-write your sales page. This is going to save you so much time and make the process go so much more smoothly and make your sales page be so much more persuasive by the end of the process. So I would highly recommend that you download this because you can use it not just for maybe the sales page that you're thinking about writing right now, but for every sales page you write in the future. I use this worksheet every time I write a sales page because it saves me so much time and makes it so much easier. At this point, you will have done a lot of the heavy lifting of writing your sales page, but it's not quite time to start writing yet because there's something else you need to plan, and that is the structure of your page. What are the different sections that your sales page is going to include, and what order will you put those sections into? So you need to map out your sales page into what is sometimes called a wireframe that just shows what section is going to go where. Now, to do this effectively, you need to understand a little bit of sales psychology and how important sequencing is when it comes to sales. See, sales is a lot like storytelling. Just like when you tell a story, you have a character that faces an obstacle and then they somehow overcome that obstacle, and that story wouldn't make any sense if we told it in the wrong order. If first we told how they overcame the obstacle and then we introduced the character and then we talked about the challenge that they were facing, that would not make for an interesting or understandable story. Now, the same thing is true about your sales, that it needs to be in a certain order and that it has very similar parts parts. First, we need to talk about who it's for and the problem that that person is facing, and only then does it make sense to present the solution. And then finally, when it comes to sales, we need to sell the prospect on that solution. We need to convince them that the solution will work, or else they won't choose to buy your product. Of course, you'll start out your page with a headline and a hook. This tells them just what this page is all about. So you might start it off with the name of your product, but then quickly get into a hook. The hook is really why they should be interested. Then you need to talk about who it's for. And when you talk about who it's for, I'm not talking about demographics here. Don't describe who your target customer is. The thing that matters is the problem that they're facing. Because while you are the storyteller, you are not inventing the problem. They are already facing this problem. So you simply need to describe the problem so that they can see, I'm in the right place. This page is about the problem that I am facing. From there, you can move on to a section of your page that introduces the product as the solution to that problem they're facing. Now, the actual introduction of the product can be pretty brief because you pretty quickly need to get into the convincing them that it will work part. And this takes several forms. You want to explain to them how it works so that they understand that it will work. You want to explain to them what it includes, but not just the features, not just the specs. You need to explain to them why you included those things and how those things will help them get the result that they're looking for. Another section you'll want to include in this lower part of your sales page is social proof and testimonials, because that is additional proof that your product works. And then finally, one more section that every sales page should have is an FAQ section, frequently asked questions. Now, the reason for this is both to potentially reduce the number of inquiries you get in your email inbox, but even more importantly, to speak to objections that your potential customer might have. If someone has stayed on your page long enough to get down to the FAQ that is typically at the bottom of the page, then they must be somewhat interested. But most people have some hesitations about buying anything, some reasons why they're concerned it might not work or might not be worth the money. And those reasons, those objections, often take the form of a question. How much does it cost? How much time will it take? What if it doesn't work for me? Will it work for someone in my situation? And the FAQ is the perfect opportunity to give your response to each of their objections and show them why they should in fact buy your product. And this is the perfect time to tell you about our sponsor today. So as we're talking about sales pages, I have to wonder, what are you going to be selling with this high converting sales page? Well, as I've tried out different digital product options online, like memberships, like courses, back in the day selling ebooks, also selling services, all sorts of different things. One of my very favorite options at this point has got to be memberships. My membership site brings in more revenue every year than any of my other products. And it brings in the revenue so much more consistently, a very consistent amount month after month. Now, when it comes to building membership sites online, there is one name that stands out above all the rest, and that is Uscreen. Uscreen is today's sponsor, and I love working with Uscreen because their product is so incredible. They allow you to build a Netflix-style membership site, meaning it is your video content on demand, and not only your video content, but you can also live stream, and they make it possible for you to have a mobile app. Now, this is key when it comes to member retention, which means that you keep earning month after month, because if you really want your member to stay a member of your membership site, how many times can I say member, then you need to make sure that you become a part of their daily life. Now, if they have to sit down at their computer and type in your website URL, visit your website to access your content, they are not going to do it very often. Now, maybe if your content is really amazing, they will find the time to do that a couple times a week, and you can make this so much more likely by having an app for your membership experience. Like I said, Uscreen allows you to do that. They also allow you to do something else that is so powerful, and that is to have a community as part of your membership. Now, if you just have video content in your membership, it could be really valuable, but it's really more like a course, and it is unlikely that your members will continue their membership long term. But by adding in a community element where they can get to know and interact with the other members, and in addition to your creator-generated content, there is also user-generated content, that really gives them that long-term value because there's always new, fresh content, and it gets them emotionally invested, which again makes them want to stay a member long-term. And what that means is that it's so much easier to grow your monthly recurring revenue over time, because when your churn rates are so low, you can just focus on going out there and getting new members and adding them to your membership, and your membership enrollment can grow and grow and grow, and your revenue can grow right along with it. I really can't recommend Uscreen highly enough. So if you are interested in building a membership site of your own, then be sure to check out Uscreen using either this link here on the screen or by clicking the link in the description below this video. And now you come to step number 3, where you actually write your sales copy. You write the words that are going to be on the sales page. Now, this step is so easy if you've done that pre-writing exercise. It really practically takes care of itself. In fact, I often find myself just copying and pasting from my pre-writing worksheet over into the sales page structure document. You've pre-written your page, you've sequenced your page and planned out its structure, you've written the words that will be on your page, and now it's finally time to put it all together and build the page itself. This part of the process is easy, and honestly, I think it's so fun. So the first thing I want to address here is what software you should use. There are a lot of options out there. You could build your sales page on your website, whether you're using WordPress or Squarespace or Wix or something else, whatever your website is, you can build your sales page straight on your website. But if you don't have a website, don't worry, because there are some other options. If you already have any sort of email marketing software set up, then it might have a landing page builder built in. I know that ConvertKit and MailerLite both have this, as well as many other software options have this as well. Or if you're selling an online course, then the software you're using to sell your course, such as Teachable, Kajabi, Thinkific, etc., also has a built-in landing page builder that you can use for your sales page. Or if you don't have any of those things, you can use something like Samcart or ThriveCart, which are shopping carts. They also allow you to build sales pages, or you can use something that is a dedicated landing page builder like Lead Pages. So like I said, there are tons of options, but the big question is, which one should you pick? Now, I would say first, if you have a website, use your website. Second, if you don't have a website, but you have one of those other things, use what you already have. And then finally, if you don't have any of those things yet, my top recommendation would be to use Squarespace, because you can use it to build an awesome sales page. The cost of it is significantly less than Lead Pages or Samcart or anything like that. And after you build your sales page with it, you can build it out into an entire website if you want to do that at some point. Once you know what software you're going to use, all you need to do is create a new page for your sales page, and then copy and paste the text that you already wrote onto this page, then add images, and then polish up your design by making sure that everything is formatted and laid out nicely. Okay, well, I hope you found this really helpful and that you now understand how easy it can be to put together a really high converting sales page for your products. But if you still have any questions, just leave me a comment down below and ask. After I post a video, I always devote a couple hours to just answering everybody's questions, and I would be more than happy to help you out with anything relating to figuring out what to write on that page, or how to say it, or how to structure the page, or how to fit this page into your sales funnel. Also, if you haven't already, don't forget to grab your free copy of that sales page pre-writing worksheet. It is going to save you so much time and make the process so much easier and make your page turn out so much better. And also that free sales sequence and structure outline for your sales page that you can use to figure out exactly what order each of the different sections of your page should come in. And one last thought. Your sales page is going to do most of the heavy lifting on your website when it comes to closing the sale. But there is another page that is almost as important, and that is your About page, because that is where your prospective customers go when they're trying to decide whether or not they trust you, whether or not they can trust your advice or trust the product that you created. So next up, watch this video right here about how to write an about page that will get your website visitors to buy into your brand and turn them into paying customers.